Hi folks, in this video I want to give an overview of the backend. And if you remember from last time, the backend is everything that the user cannot see. So for a home building analogy, it will be the structural beams, the plumbing pipes, and the electrical wiring. And for our application, the backend is one of two components comprising of our application and counterparts the front end. And having gone through the front end, you'll remember that the web browsers for our front end operate on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the front end really just needs HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the whole function of the backend is to generate these HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files so that our front end, our web browser, can read them in and then display it to our user. So that's how the front end and the back end is intended to work together. And if we look at our course website, in the backend section, the backend is comprised of three pieces: Python, Django, and Postgres. So in this video, we're just going to go over what the function of those three pieces are. So the first one is going to be Python. It is a programming language, and its intended function is to help us autonomously generate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's go over what that means. In your exercises, you've manually created HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files, and that created a page. So that's called a static web page. So would you imagine if you made a page and it was an About Me page? You had to type out HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files by hand. And now, if we were to extend that page to include more people, so about you, or more people, you would have to more or less copy and paste the HTML, JavaScript, and CSS files over and over again for every person. And at some point, that becomes too hard. And maybe at 5 or more people is just too hard to do by hand. So that's where programming languages come in to help us to kind of break that barrier. And they are called dynamically generated websites, or dynamic website. So how that would work is the programming language is going to generate the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And what you're going to need to provide to the language is data, right? To like the people, the list of people. And this list can go on to, I wouldn't say infinity, but it's limitless. It's only limited by the resources you have, the computer, your network, and how you design the application. So that's considered data. So a programming language is going to help us use our data and then build HTML, CSS, and JavaScript around the data. So basically, it's going to try and provide a view, a presentation surrounding our data. Okay, so that is the intent of the programming language. Next is Django. It is a web framework, and its function is to hopefully make it easier and faster to build. Our application. So let's explain that a bit. Going back to our web home building analogy, without a framework, you would be building from scratch. So the building layout, all the design work, every new building will be built from scratch, and it's just a lot of rework because a lot of these buildings share the same common features. So a framework helps us reuse the same common features for each building that we build. So for our home building scenario, a framework might include the structure, the foundation, and the roof. And so if we have that and we were to reuse it, then if we were to use that framework to build multiple houses, the iPad is not refreshing yet. Okay, there it is. And so if the common basic items are already figured out, then we can just focus on where to put the windows and other things that's unique to our individual house. So maybe this house, there'll be a window and a door, whereas this house will be just 2 windows. So a framework kind of helps us not have to deal with the things that are redundant to all applications. So similarly, for our web app, things like reading data and then forming the HTML file and things like the browser URL, those are all handled by the framework so that we can just focus on what our application actually does. So that's the intent of the framework. And for us, we're going to use Django. And then the last piece of the backend is going to be Postgres, which is our database. And the function of our database is to store and retrieve data. So you remember from our discussion about the programming language, we actually needed data to kind of build our presentation around our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the database is going to help us maintain and manage the data here. So in this case, it's a list of names, but our application might have more than just a list of names. It might have something more complex like this file of books. It's like a CSV file. So sorry. So for instance, if we wanted to find any books that starts with W, it would have to be, we would have to kind of go through the file and kind of pick out these rows of data or books that start with the letter W. And that's hard. I mean, that's more work to do, and databases exist to kind of serve that purpose. So we're not going to build it by hand. We're just going to use databases. So databases is also going to allow us to do more complex things. So besides finding the relevant rows, which is called querying, it can help us sort our results and also filter results. So for instance, maybe we only want books that start with W and have less than 200 pages, right? So it's going to help us filter our results and give us the one row of data that we actually care about in this scenario. It could return more than one in most cases too. So database is going to help us do that, so we don't have to build that in. And the last thing, I guess, is it might not make sense for us, but databases also help scale and support scale up to support many users, help us back up and restore data in case of a crash. So all these things are taken care of by the database. So that's why we want to use it instead of building our own, or worse yet, using a flat file. In this case, this example is a CSV file, comma separated delimited files. So each data point is separated by a comma. So that's the function of the database, to kind of help us store and retrieve data in a more full-featured way. Okay, so between these three pieces here. Python is our programming language, Django is our web framework, and Postgres is our database. That should allow us to build a backend, which then helps us generate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to provide to our front end, which is the web browsers. They'll take the HTML, CSS, JavaScript and present it to our user. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope you can see the overall picture of how the front end and back end work together, and how the pieces of the back end work together to kind of allow you to build your application a little bit easier, a little bit faster, hopefully. But the downside is you have to learn it. If we were to just use HTML, CSS, JavaScript by hand, you already know how to do that. But it's tedious, and we will hit a limit if we were to do that manually. So using these programming language and web framework and database will kind of help us build applications that are larger and more complex, but still easy enough to maintain. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video and that you'll enjoy learning these topics. And thanks for watching.